everyone, welcome to another video for SimonSaysStamp.com. I'm starting out today with some layering paper from Hero Arts. This is from the Pool Mixed Layering Pack, and I've cut it to be 4 1/4 wide by the 11 inches tall that it comes in, and I'm going to score it with my Martha Stewart Craft scoring board in order to make sure that it is the exact size that I want. It's a standard size card, so I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. Alright, I'm going to give that a little fold. I'm not folding it all the way because now I'm going to put it through my Big Shot machine with an embossing plate. And the embossing plate I'm going to be using today is actually from W+9. This is their chevron embossing plate. It's a metal plate. It's really sturdy. And the thing that's really cool about their embossing plates is that they always have the pattern going in, you know, like if you're going to have a horizontal card, you could have it this way, and then you turn it over and the pattern goes the other direction. So depending on how you want it on your card, you have both options. So I'm going to go ahead and get this sandwich ready for my Big Shot machine. The sandwich I need, I'm pretty much following this diagram right here, except I'm going to be modifying it just a bit. I've got my clear plate down right here, and then I'm going to put down the plate and our cardstock, and I want to make sure that this cardstock is right at that edge, right there. I don't want it to move and go off center, so I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to take some washi tape. Now you don't have to use washi tape, you can use masking tape. I just happen to have a little bit of washi tape right here, and it's the very beginning of the roll, so it's got that little mark on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that instead of throwing it away, which is what you'd normally do. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that right there. That's just going to help hold that in place. Now I have a silicone rubber mat from Sizzix. I believe Spellbinders sells another mat that's similar to this. I'll link that below as well, because this one sometimes is hard to find. And I'm going to put that clear plate right on top. Everything's going to be held in there really tight. It's going to go through fairly easy. It's not going to give a really deep impression like you might get with an embossing folder, but it'll be more of a subtle impression. You'll be able to see right here what it did. You can see that. You can see a little better right there. Can you see? I'm going to cut off the end of this right here. I'm going to give it a curved edge. So I'm going to line this up on my grid mat here and make a couple marks. Alright, I'm going to have it come up right here. I'm going to make a little mark right there and one right here. And then I'm going to find the center of the card, which is right there. Alright, and I'm going to come right here and sort of connect the points using really wide pencil strokes. I'm bending from my wrist, not from just my fingers, so I can get a smooth curved line. Not too worried about the pencil because I can always erase it. Now I'm just going to cut off that curved line and then clean it up with an eraser. I have a strip of the slightly darker teal color that's in the layering paper pack, and I'm using the Fiskars postage stamp edge punch. I'm going to turn this over so I can actually get this kind of centered on here where I want it. Alright, and it's punched out 2 different pieces. The one that has the little edge on it, and then this smaller one. I'm going to save those for a little bit later, and I'll show you why. But first, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this. And the sentiment I'm using is from this stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. This is an exclusive set that came in the September card kit. You could also buy it separately. This is the Shoot for the Stars stamp set. I'm using the sentiment that says, "I heard you're amazing." And I'm going to be embossing, so I'm using the EK Success powder tool. I'm just going to put a little bit of powder down on the cardstock. And the reason why I punched that first before I stamped is that I want to make sure that the edge, the punched edge, is just perfectly spaced away from the sentiment. using white embossing powder. All right, so now this is when these two little pieces are going to come into play. It's going to help us get this size just right. I'm bringing in the little, in fact, I'll turn these over. Bringing in the little postage edge so we can see. We want it about right there. And then this little piece also came out of the punch, and we're going to put that right there. Now I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw a little tick mark right there, and that's going to let me know where I need to cut off this strip so that it's sized perfectly for the edge punch. Alright, so we have this right here. I'm going to turn over that punch again and get this centered. There we go, and then we have it perfectly spaced between the two punches. Alright, we're going to use this as a reference point for another piece of this card. I'm planning to have this down near the bottom, and we're going to have a column of different bands of the different colors of paper stamped with other elements from the same stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some other strips of paper and then start stamping all the different elements. Okay, I cut a 2-inch wide white strip of paper, and then I've taken other strips of colored paper and I stamped on them, sometimes with Versamark ink and then I embossed in white, and then other times I use soft pool ink, and I also use a little bit of white paper right here. This is just some Nina Solar white paper. Thought I'd go ahead and edit all that out of the video so that you're not watching me endlessly repeat all of these stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off these edges so it actually is a 2-inch wide strip of cardstock. Alright, so we have our lovely little piece here, and I'm going to be adhering this onto the center of the card. Alright, and then I'm just going to trim off this end here. Alright, the I Heard You're Amazing is going to go right down here. I'm going to put it on some foam adhesive. Alright, and now I have some more of that cardstock. This is going to go on the inside of the card, just right there, so that it has a little bit of contrasting color. So I'm going to stamp this with the designer wood grain stamp from Hero Arts. And I think I'll do a little bit of embossing too, so I'll go ahead and use my powder tool. And this time I will do clear embossing. I'm going to go ahead and get the stamp. I only need about half of it inked up. Alright, and I'll just press this onto the stamp. This is clear embossing powder now. Alright, I'm going to adhere this to the front of the card, or to the inside, so I'm going to put adhesive all along the top edge. Alright, and then onto the inside of the card. Alright, and then now we're going to finish the sentiment so that it says, "So glad the rumor is true." I've got a little bit left of when I was stamping different ink colors. So I'm going to use this and I will stamp it in that same soft pool color. Alright, and I'm just going to trim this out. I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge. Alright, and this is going to go right there. I just want to make sure it's going to clear the front, and it totally is. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. Alright, and that's going to go right there. I'm going to round these bottom corners with my We Are Member Keepers corner chomper. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch. Alright, and that's the card for today. Very monochromatic, using lots of pool cardstock and ink from Hero Arts. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.